Good morning, this is Airpulse Creations 2021. Today I like to speak a little bit about the moon, the sun, and about astrological experiences made a very long time ago. We start with the moon. A woman named Sybil Leek, she said about the moon, "Everyone is a moon and has a dark side which we never show to anyone." And in astrology, the moon is about our emotions, our instincts, and the unconscious. And while the sun represents our will, the moon represents our instinct. So one could say that while the sun in our zodiac sign is relating to our individuality, the moon is relating to our personality. One could also define the sun's influence as a vital force and the moon's influence as an unconscious force. It is said that the moon is representing that side of us that reacts before we have time to think. In many ways, we can say that we usually keep our moon personality hidden from others. The moon's instinctive behavior is a bit rejected by some people who do not trust the instinct. The moon's personality is our inner core, which can feel jealousy, maybe even hate, is a brooding and a fearful emotion, bringing some unwanted fantasies to us that we often reject and even deny to ourselves. So the moon's influence is of course much more. The moon spontaneously invites us to feel and express joy and pleasure, and so awakens emotional stimuli. The moon's influence lets us enjoy our sensual side, the smell of beautiful flowers, the smell of grass after the rain was coming, our delight of seeing a gorgeous nature. So the moon is ruling our five senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. The subconscious of the moon also relates to our infancy, childhood, dreams, memories, and the past. So this moon is very powerful, holding a dominion over our emotional sphere. The moon is also extremely important with regards to our love relationships. It is said that when a woman has her moon in the same sign in which a man has his sun, then we can assume a long and lasting bond for a successful relationship, since both have a deep understanding of the other. Throughout history, the moon was worshipped. In the ancient civilizations, the moon deity was usually a goddess and reigned side by side with the sun. In some religions, the moon was even more powerful than the sun because of the moon's spiritual knowledge. The early Roman sacred feast day, called Moon Day, later became Monday. So the moon in one's horoscope modifies the sun in the same zodiac. The moon and the sun can be seen as a blend, a marriage, so to speak. And as in a marriage, so too are here personalities working together to form a compatible marriage, leaving conflicts and opposing traits behind, or at least try to leave them behind. And how does the sun affect us? Well, it can be said to relate to our outward behavior or our outward demeanor, and also how the outside world relates to each of us. In short, the sun is the image that we project to the world, our first impression that we make on other people. The power of the sun characterizes the way we deal with others. It is our distinctive style with regards to our surroundings. The sun gives us a self-awareness, a self-sufficiency, and a self-interest. The sun relates to our creative powers, our goals, our aims, and our objectives, but the sun also influences our physical characteristics and our mannerisms. You could say that it is our mask of our outward appearance. And like any mask, this mask may hide our real face, but more likely is simply a part of our real face. It is that face that we most easily and naturally show to other people. The sun is referred to as the masculine principle because it represents a person's outward expression. Now, a few interesting facts about the story of astrology. The gazing at the stars and the turning our eyes to the skies is as old as mankind itself. The study of the sun, the moon, the stars, eclipses, day and night, all that began well before recorded history. And how do we know that? Well, there were some reindeer bones and some tusks of mammoths found from the Ice Age. And these founds, they have inscriptions carved in them or on the bones and the tusks, and they picture the moon phases. These bones and tusks, they are dated back 25,000 to 10,000 BC. And some scientists, they even date them back as far as 32,000 BC. The path of the stars was recorded 6,000 years before Christ was born, and as early as 2767 BC, a horoscope had been cast in Egypt by Imhotep, the architect of the Great Step Pyramid in Saqqara in Egypt. And this horoscope is still existing today. Amazing, isn't it? The ancient astrologers, they made charts of the movement of planets and of stars, and they could even predict eclipses, developed calendars, and today we still can read such charts of stars that were made by Egyptian astrologers in 4200 BC. In the ancient societies, astrology and spirituality, they were linked together. So was the Sumerian symbol for divinity the symbol of a star. Stars, they were given names and they were worshipped and even seen as gods. The sun was the most powerful god because the sun is most important, giving the earth the needed warmth and light, and so helps the plant life, making the crops grow. And the Druids, the Egyptians, the Incas, and the Hindus, they were all worshippers of the sun. And in ancient Hindu religion, God Vishnu is the embodiment of the sun, the symbol of life itself. Still today, we can visit the early observatories that used to study the skies. The pyramids at Giza in Egypt, they are one of the 7 wonders of the world, with elaborate tombs of dead royalty. There are also giant compasses whose triangular sides directly face the points of a compass. And in the old Maya city or Mayan city of Chichen Itza, there is standing a pre-Columbian stone structure called Carabul Observatory. And in the Carabul Observatory is a spiral staircase leading to various windows from which the position of the planets can be observed as they shift throughout the year. The Druids, they used for their astrological calculations the upright granite blocks ranging from 16 to 20 feet high, as well as the magnificent structure called Stonehenge in South England. Here, stones are placed in a circular pattern, and in 1961, Professor Gerald S. Hawkins, an astronomer from Boston University, had submitted the pattern of Stonehenge to the analysis by an IBM computer, and he so discovered that these strange stones can be used to record the positions of the sun and the moon. and that virtually every eclipse of the sun and moon can be predicted from Stonehenge. So obviously, the people who built Stonehenge in 2500 BC, they were not just barbarians, but they were the builders of a sophisticated astronomical observatory. And in the United States of America, the Indian tribe called Hohokam Indians living in Arizona around 1300 AD, they built a structure called Casa Grande, which has 8 openings that are aligned with the rising and the setting of the sun at both solstices and both equinoxes, which are the 4 cardinal points of the zodiac. So clearly there are no new ideas, there are new people discovering old ideas. We just took a brief look at the earliest astrological discoveries in a more or less chronological order. And I hope you somehow enjoyed it. I wish you all a wonderful Friday. I will be back tomorrow with a short reading of some kind. Sending much love out. Take care and goodbye.